Um, when I was, I think, sophomore in high school, it was when Tim originally brought me the prototype of the center force hitter and kind of wanted to test it out. So I started using it, and all of a sudden when the season came around, I kept using it throughout my season, my sophomore year and junior year, and my power numbers, they skyrocketed. I mean, I went from hitting, my freshman year I think I hit 5 home runs, then my sophomore year I hit 11. Junior year I hit, I think, 9. In my senior year of high school I hit, I think, 13. And before I didn't know I had that type of power, but when I get on and off the center force hitter, that's when I knew, I could tell, okay, that's where I'm getting my power from, because it's showing me how to use my lower half and how to drive through the baseball when I make contact. So after my senior year, I ended up getting a scholarship to go play at West Virginia University. And I kind of got away from the center force hitter my first 2 years. In my first year, I think I hit 270. In my second year, I hit 260. No home runs my freshman year, and 3 home runs my sophomore year. So then I got back to getting on the center force hitter, and I ended up having a really good year. I led the team with home runs. I had 14 home runs. I was second in the Big 12 with home runs. I led the Big 12 in batting average. I hit 391 in conference play. And during my regular season, I hit 374. Ended up being first team All Big 12, first team All Region, and then I got an All American accolade. And it was because I got back on the center force hitter. That's what I think gave me my power. After my junior season, I ended up getting selected by the MLB draft.
The center force hitter is a commercially built piece of sports performance equipment that features an all-steel frame with aluminum cleats for variable resistance and a low-friction pulley system with 30 feet of marine-grade tension cords. To assemble the center force, simply align the screws located at the bottom of the red shroud to the screw holes located in the center of the black base. Now screw in the shroud to the base using the provided plastic knobs. No tools necessary. Make sure the bungee cords that are coming out of the top of the shroud are loosened before hooking yourself to the machine. Secure the provided center force belt around your hip socket just below the waist. And remember that the red hook always goes on the rear hip socket, and the black hook always goes on the front hip socket. After tightening the bungee cords, make sure they are securely in the clamps. The recommended workout for the center force is to hit the ball 7 times while hooked to the center force. And an additional 7 times not hooked in immediately after. To improve sports performance, training must include drills that challenge the kinetic chain. The kinetic chain is the body's ability to generate energy from the ground up, connecting the lower body to the upper body through the core. The center force training does exactly that, improving rotational strength, speed, transfer of weight, and balance. All rotational sport movements have many of the same fundamental biomechanics, but no 2 athletes have the same biomechanics. For example, 2 great hitters in baseball share the same fundamentals, but not the same biomechanics. Every athlete is striving to reach what inventor Tim Hallmark refers to as the ISP, Individual Specific Pathway. The ISP is what the center force hitter addresses through proper brain imprinting. Center force training, with its research and developed perfect dual-angled resistance and correct biofeedback, teaches the body the most efficient, balanced, and powerful way to perform. Center force training is supported by the science of physics and proven by major sports performance improvements in many different sports. The center force hitter is revolutionizing training for rotational sports. I have seen the center force hitter connect my player's lower and upper body, completing the kinetic power chain. any player who does not train on the center force hitter is at a disadvantage. Keith Jackson, President and Coach of Action Baseball Club in Round Rock, Texas. My 12-year-old son trained on the center force hitter for 2 months and continued to improve, and then hit his first home run ever in the Super Series World Series. Brent Gilmore. I immediately felt more power and balance using the center force hitter. It is the best training device I have used for driving a softball. Megan Bailey, St. Edward's University softball player. The center force hitter is the best tool I've ever used to train my athletes. It is a one-of-a-kind resistance trainer that forces the hitter to work from the ground up to generate explosive power. The hitter will benefit from its qualities over quantity workout approach and the fact that it provides automatic feedback after every swing. When the hitter removes the resistance, it is evident that the hips are firing much quicker than prior to using the center force. I recommend this product for any athlete interested in taking their game to the next level. The center force hitter is a must for softball and baseball teams around the country. Lindsey Gardner, All-American softball player at the University of Texas, former collegiate softball coach, and current hitting coach for softball and baseball.
That's exactly what I want you to do. Finish your stroke and stay at home.
I got it.
Starting my junior year in college, I began to use the center force hitter to develop my golf swing. The center force hitter started to reshape my golf swing specifically by strengthening my core. It did not take long for me to realize the benefits of center force training. I became one of the longest players on the team, to where now I consistently drive the ball 300 to 305 yards. After doing a recent 3D biomechanics test, it was revealed that my swing had become considerably more efficient and biomechanically sound as compared to my previous years on the team. This is something I could not have achieved without the help of the center force hitter. The center force hitter completely changed my golf game, and I believe it can help anyone looking to further their capabilities on the course. Pete, D1 golfer.
All right, switch. Now, what's the difference on this and her? Her body changes to it.
In the United States alone, there are over 60 million participants in the rotational sports of baseball, softball, golf, and boxing.